All right, we're here. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Or is it Tuesday? Been fighting with that all day. Welcome to the Shape of Horror podcast. I'm Bud. I hope everybody's having a good week. So, we're here tonight to break down Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers, otherwise known as Halloween 6. Very interesting movie. I'll let a couple people filter in here before I really get into it, but what I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to do like I did last week for Halloween 5. I took sourced some new stills from the 4K Blu-ray, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Got some really good stuff. I shared a little bit of it on Twitter yesterday. Doing huge numbers, folks. So now some of these are going to look better than others. It's tough to do on your camera phone, which I have the top of the line. I have the iPhone 14 Pro. But now that I see some people filtering in here, let's go to the comments. Did my poll come up? You guys see my poll? I put a poll up. I don't see it, but oh well. All right, welcome to the chat. Mikey Loves Movies. New viewer who started watching last week. Good to have you. Christopher Abel, I think I saw you the other night on Rewind Trivia. Welcome to the chat. Josh the Horror Guy. Halloween 6 isn't that bad. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Nick Push, welcome to the chat. So much good and so much bad in the movie. Yeah, that's appropriate. So, all right. Good evening, bud. I like this Michael Myers movie. You know what I found out in the last 24 hours since I put a couple of stills on Twitter? I found out that people do indeed like this movie. More popular than I would have given it credit for. So, for the first time ever, Joseph the Horror Guy and Josh the Horror Guy are in the chat together. We may need to have a fight one of these days over these two. Ryan Underwear, welcome to the chat. This movie is like Hannah Montana, the best of both worlds. That's very, very good analogy there. So with that, let's get into it. Let's get my stupid face over to the side. Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers. So as we know, after last week's breakdown, if you haven't seen it, you can go back on my channel and you can check that out. But Halloween 5 left us in a really bad spot back in 1989. Diminishing returns. The story was just Mustafa Akkad, his own opinion was that, the franchise strayed way too far from what Halloween should be. So he kind of mothballed it for a few years. And I think in 1994, he decided to sell the rights, lease the rights or whatever to apologize for my dog. He's a little fucking asshole. Leased the rights to a bigger studio. I think Halloween 4 and 5 he did independently, much like the original Halloween. And so he shopped it to, all the studios. And I think John Carpenter himself tried to team with New Line Cinemas and tried to outbid Miramax, who did end up getting the rights. They released it under their Dimension Films. You guys remember this was the first time we see Dimension Films before the opening sequences open up. So they decided to go into production on this. Miramax is on board. It seemed to be a little bit of an infusion of cash to put into this. They had a budget, I believe, of $5 million to work with. And they brought this kind of idiot savant, Daniel Farrens. He has a Bible of Halloween ideas. But I don't think they ended up starting with his ideas. They wrote a script. It was called The Origin, Halloween 666, The Origin of Michael Myers. And funny enough, I was, I still rented a lot of VHS. I was in high school in 1994, getting ready to graduate. And you remember you would rent like a Pulp Fiction. and they would show all the previews at the beginning. I remember seeing a little trailer on the VHS of Pulp Fiction for Halloween 666, the origin of Michael Myers, that had some shots of the cult. You can probably find this on YouTube. But yeah, it was going to be called Halloween 666, the origin of Michael Myers. So they started shooting the movie, and they do kind of what all studios do. They screen test with an audience. Don't know where they did this, but they didn't get good feedback. These test audiences watch what we know as the producer's cut, and they didn't like it. They didn't like Michael passing on the curse to Dr. Loomis. They just didn't like it. So they decide they're going to go spend some more money, do some reshoots. And this is what they released in September 29th, 1995. Ended up with a box office return of 15.1 million. And let's just, like I said, just where was Bud during this time? Well, 1995 was a big year for me. I graduated high school, and then 3 weeks after that, I went off to boot camp at the Navy. And Halloween 6 came out as I got out of boot camp, and I did 1 week of leave, went home, and this is where I saw Halloween 6, and I just remember at the time, didn't like it. Wasn't a big fan of it. I thought that the franchise had, they went off the rails with Halloween 5, and they didn't do much to repair that. So, disappointed at the time. But as we're going to find out, the amount of time that goes by, I think we can enjoy this a little bit more. So here's the poster. Terror never rests in peace. Not a bad poster at all. Kind of like it. But the opening title here, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. What do you guys think of this? Would you prefer the origin of Michael Myers better? Personally, I think The Curse, probably the better of the two. Even though I wish they would have kept the Halloween 666, but, it's a sign of the times. Probably would have had a lot of Christian parents complaining about that, so who knows. So we open up, we get like this little montage, quick cut montage of all the shit that is going on with the shape. We get this shot of the shape. This is the first we see him, but this will come into play later. But we open up with we're in a strange, like, Freddy Krueger like basement boiler room, bunch of pipes. Don't know where we are, but we see a lot of medical people wheeling a screaming woman down the corridor, and we find out that this is, of course, Jamie Lloyd. So they're wheeling her. Looks like she's in some kind of labor or something. She's screaming her head off. Not feeling well, but turns out she gives birth to a baby boy. And these druids, or whatever the fuck they're supposed to be, they're having some kind of ritual here. You guys remember the Curse of Thorn mark that was on Michael's wrist in Halloween 5 and the Man in Black? They shared something, so it seems like maybe this is the Man in Black. I can't remember if Michael's not off to the side here, but they do some crazy ritual where they do the Curse of Thorn on the baby. Well, whose baby is this? We know it's Jamie's. Who's the father? And this is one of the most troubling plot things they've probably ever done in a Halloween. Probably even worse than anything Rob Zombie's Halloween did. This baby is Michael's baby. So Michael, we have a little bit of an incest thing going on. Pretty strange, but yeah, that's where we are. So we catch back up with Jamie. She's just giving birth. She's her socks on here, trying to keep warm. All the candles going, but this nice nurse lady shows up with the baby. I guess they handed the baby back over to the medical professionals. Probably smart. But this woman has a conscience. She's like, we need to get you and your fucking baby out of here. So this poor lady decides she's going to help Jamie escape. Takes her back through the boiler room to this spiral staircase that goes up, I guess, into a dumpster or something. I guess that's the entryway. But yeah, Jamie's escaping, and this lady's, what the fuck's going on in this hallway alone? But the shape is there, man, and we get nice, pretty gruesome kill here. Kind of lifts her up, and there's conveniently a spike there on the wall, and her body that thing goes through her body. So we're off to the races. And here's the little dumpster I was talking about. The shape comes up out of the dumpster. Is it kind of are they trying to tell us something here that coming up out of the dumpster fire that was Halloween 5? Were they that clever? I don't know. And so the shape comes out. Jamie finds a truck that's just kind of running in the middle of severe weather here. Thunderstorm. It's raining. And then there's this asshole just fucking pounding beers out in the middle of the rain near wherever this is. And so Jamie decides she's going to steal his truck. And he's like, hey, what the fuck? You're stealing my truck. But the shape is closing in on this guy. And Jamie's trying to warn him. And then we get an even more gruesome kill. Look at this shit. Grabs his head, twists it straight off of his neck. You've never seen this shot right here anywhere on any slide on the internet. This is an exclusive from Bud right here. I'll try to put some of the better ones, some more of them, but this is one of them. Look how fucking gruesome that is. You can see his tongue over here to the right. Pretty gruesome. The chat is taking off here, so let me go to the chat real quick before I move on. I'm going to try to move through this quickly. I have a lot of slides. But let's see here. I saw this one from the Entertainment Wizard. Bud, don't blame the writer early drafts. They were way better, and he wanted to have Laurie rescue Jamie, but the studio was never going to pay for his original vision. Also, I talked a little bit about John Carpenter. He tried to team with New Line to outbid. His idea was to take the shape to space. I don't know. But another idea that, when they saw that this movie was kind of falling apart, they approached Quentin Tarantino himself. And I thought he had a great idea where it would have been Michael and the Man in Black after they had escaped Halloween 5, just going from town to town, just slaughtering people. I think a lot of those ideas ended up being part of his movie that he wrote for Oliver Stone, Natural Born Killers. Very similar. But yeah, let's see here. Mikey Loves Movie. Great atmosphere in this movie. That is true. What a horrible name. What is a horrible name? Bud or Mikey Loves Movies? I wish Halloween would have had Danielle Harris. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't bring her back. But, given how Jamie's character turned out, they did her a fucking favor. Josh the Horror Guy, it's wild because they did the same thing in Halloween Ends that they did with Halloween 6 Producer's Cut. Did they? You mean cutting and changing the movie? Yeah, they did a little bit. No, I did not turn 40 that year. I was, in fact, 18. No, I just turned 19 when Halloween 6 came out. Joseph, did y'all like Halloween 6? We'll get to that in a minute. Let's see here. I think that Jamie Lee did a great role playing Laurie Strode. Yeah. A little too good. Let's see here. They should have kept the 666. Yeah, I think they should have, but if it had been made now, absolutely they would have kept it. Should have been called Halloween 6, The Curse of Jamie Lloyd, or the Bastard of Jamie Lloyd, maybe. Let's see here. The producer's cut has some good scenes. Yeah, I think I'm gonna down the road maybe do this for the producer's cut. I don't know. Let's see here. Michael knocked up his niece. Did the movie take place in Illinois or West Virginia? Maybe on the border of Illinois and Ohio? I don't know. Yeah. Let's see here. Cool intro to the shape. Yeah. And let me say this about George Wilbur. Man, he really stepped up his game from what he did in Halloween 4. Much better showing. Yeah, they made it up to Harris with the Rob Zombie part. No reason to pay her demands for this small part. Probably true. But the way Michael Myers killed this guy was gross in my sense. Yeah. It's kind of like Earl in Halloween 4, but he really took it all the way this time. So we cut here. Jamie's hauled ass. And we cut to this sign here. It says sold in front of a house by Strode Realty. We really don't know what this place is, but we catch up with this little kid's having a bad nightmare about the man in black and kill for him. Little ugly kid wakes up screaming, and his mother comes in, consoles him, and you notice here up on his wall here, the Curse of Thorn. So this is going to play a big part. So the radio's playing. We hear Barry Sims, big shock jock in Haddonfield, talking about his favorite Michael Myers conspiracy theories. Here we meet Kara Strode. They say her name a couple different ways in this. Kara, up to you guys, but not looking too healthy. Looking at herself in the mirror here, and across the street through the pouring rain, she notices somebody's watching her, and this guy just has his fucking camera pointed into this poor lady's window here. This fucking creeper here. But she notices that. I can't remember if she shuts the blinds or not, but he's also listening to the Michael Myers conspiracy theories. And he decides he's going to call in and do some fucking fancy talk if I ever heard it about Michael Myers. We come to find out who this guy is later. You know, it's his little screensaver. Great shot of the shape mask. Good stuff. And guess who else is listening? Dr. Loomis, who we thought died of a fucking stroke or heart attack or whatever. The end of Halloween 5? No. This I apologize for this blurry screenshot. This got through the quality control. But there would be better shots of Dr. Loomis. Sadly about this movie, this is the last time that Donald Pleasance, this is the last movie he did, I believe. But yeah, Dr. Loomis is alive and he's writing his memoirs. And we catch back up with Jamie, peeling ass down the road, trying to get away. Comes to a bus station, decides to run in. You know, public place. You'd think there'd be a lot of people. But no, this fucking bus station's dead. But as you can see, it serves northern Illinois, from Lincoln to Bloomington to Funk's Grove, wherever that is, Pontiac. And there's Haddonfield, Smith's Grove. I guess it's not too far after all. Looks like it probably heads up to fucking Chicago. But she decides to call into Barry Sims. That's on the radio everywhere. And screams out that, hey, this is Jamie Lloyd, Dr. Loomis. I need your help. And Dr. Loomis, and we reintroduced, you guys remember Halloween 1, the guy that Loomis was arguing with on whether he could drive, whatever. Well, this is Dr. Wynn here. He's a little bit older. But Dr. Wynn shows up on this rainy night to say, hey, Loomis, why don't you come back to Smith's Grove? Like, come on back. We need you. So a little bit suspect. We'll catch up with this later. But they hear Jamie Lloyd on the phone asking Dr. Loomis for help. But Jamie gets smart. She's going to hide the baby. Just stuff his little ass underneath the vanity there. And sneak out the window. But the shape, he's already caught up, walking through, looking for her. And she decides to jump back in her truck and haul ass again. And the shape is in, he's in hot pursuit. Let me play this. This is probably going to be a little bit echoey, but I'm going to play it. What's it from? It's Smokey and the Bandit, talking about hot pursuits. But Jamie pulls up and onto this farm, crashes her fucking truck, goes into this barn, but the shape catches up. And this is like Jamie didn't deserve this kill. Look at this shit. Just put her on whatever piece of fucking farm equipment this is. You guys know what this is? But, she's trying to, you know, make amends or whatever. I love this shot here. What do you guys think of this shot? I believe this one's on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, let me see if anybody's watching this shit on Twitter. Let's see if we have any comments. Nope, nobody's watching it. All right. So for good measure, he's like, fuck you, and pushes her down, turns on the whatever this thing is. That's the end of Jamie Lloyd. And then he goes back to retrieve the baby, but she's outsmarted him. Put a roll of Charmin in there. And before we move on, let's go back to the chat. Michael Myers, Joseph. Michael Myers was freaking awesome in this movie. Yeah, he was brutal. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Donald Pleasance, indeed. Talking about Tommy Doyle's screensaver on his IBM from 1995. Early days. Who are we talking about? He really aged in 6 years. Are we talking about Loomis? Dr. Loomis is the GOAT. Entertainment where he says, swears it looks like there's two in the van. It could be. But it can't be Wynn because he's with Dr. Loomis. Jamie's death was brutal. This kill would have been great for any other character in the movie. Agreed. I don't think she deserved this. If you remember in the producer's cut, I think they fucking shot her in the hospital. Which is worse, this or that? All right, this kill would have been great. Yeah, I already put that up there. All right, let's get back to this thing. So we wake up. It's Halloween morning. And this crude sign here is on in front of the that for sale sign we saw from Strode Realty. And we are introduced to this guy, John Strode. Good name. But he's chopping down, these kids are playing a prank on him. He's telling him he's got about 3 seconds to get the hell off his doorstep. Chops their sign down and walks in, and we find out that this is the Myers house. Great improvement over that atrocity that they tried to pass in Halloween 5 for the Myers house. Much better here. But we get some nice shot. Apparently at fucking 8 o'clock in the morning, people are trick-or-treating in Haddonfield. It's probably the only place I've ever seen where this happens. I wouldn't even fucking answer the door if someone knocked on my door for candy. 8 in the morning. You tell me, chat. What would you do? So this is Tim Strode here. This is Kara, younger brother. And we learn this is her bastard son, Danny, doing the Strode stomach pounder, whatever the fuck that is. It's a happy family all around the table for breakfast. John, looks very excited. Big day ahead. But Kara is doing her homework. Mom's feeding everybody breakfast. But we find out that John Strode is not approving of Kara, or her bastard son, Danny. Apparently, they're freeloaders. And, often happens in families where the mother takes pity on the daughter and, daughter gets her way. Certainly like that in my family. But he's not happy. Fucking slaps her around and gives her a bloody nose. Just give her all her goddamn cash, Deborah. So they established John Strode as not a very savory character. But here's little Danny protecting his mom, holding up the steak knife, this dull-ass steak knife. Probably couldn't cut through one of my tough steaks when I overcook it. But they're going to head off. Everybody's going to school. Kara's going to go to the University of Haddonfield. Danny's going to go Haddonfield Elementary or whatever. So we catch up. Dr. Loomis, Wynn, they go back to Smith's Grove. This is the secretary. Dr. Wynn tells you need to get every file every piece of paper you have on a former patient of ours, Michael Myers, for Dr. Loomis here. And she's like, you fucking idiots haven't heard? They found Jamie Lloyd's body this morning. Like, they identified her that quickly. So they're like, what the fuck? So we meet Tim's girlfriend here, Beth. She's kind of a hippie. She kind of pissed off that they can't celebrate Halloween in Haddonfield, even though people are fucking trick or treating all over the place. Like, what the fuck? What a plot hole that is. Like, we can't celebrate Haddonfield. She's gonna go fight the man over this. But everybody's trick or treating. Who fucking knew? Maybe she's blind. And we get a couple of scenes here. We get this old lady raking her leaves. Apparently, this is Mrs. Blankenship. She runs a boarding house for wayward teens in Haddonfield. She'll come into play later. And then, of course, we find out who that dumbass is up there in the window that's always staring. Quickly, Big Empty Zero. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for tuning in. So we find out that this is Tommy Doyle. He's a creepy kid who had some fucked up shit happen to him when he was younger. But yeah, we're kind of establishing. And Tommy, he's listening back to that phone call that Jamie Lloyd made the night before. And he makes a discovery, discovers a big clue. You can hear the bus terminal making announcements, which is odd because there's nobody fucking there. Another plot hole. So Tommy, he decides to go to the bus station, does some snooping around. And he hears this sniveling little baby and pulls him out. Fucker just found a baby. But, he's doing his best to calm the baby down and everything. So he decides, I'm going to do this fucking baby. Looks like it was just born, even though he weighs like fucking 40 pounds already. Interesting. But he decides, I need to go get this baby some help. And then we cut to the barn where Jamie was dead. Loomis and Wynn show up, talk to the sheriff. Interestingly enough, the sheriff is no longer Ben Meeker. Don't know what happened there. But instantly, Loomis knows that that's his mark. He's back. So we're back on. So we catch back up to Kara, Tim, and Beth. They're pulling into the college here, I guess. I don't know. Are they in high school or are they in college? Kara, she seems like she's already 45, so it must be college. But, Beth is explaining about how Haddonfield can't celebrate Halloween and going to take it back from the man. And Kara drops her books here, and I think Beth pulls out the fucking drawing that Danny made. Basically says, hey, your kid's a fucking weirdo. So Tommy Doyle shows up at the hospital trying to get a fucking doctor, yells at the lady at the nurse station there. She decides to call security. But Tommy notices old Dr. Loomis. Of course, Dr. Loomis doesn't recognize this guy. But Tommy explains that, hey, I'm Tommy Doyle. Loomis has the epiphany. Oh, yes, this is Tommy Doyle. And then Tommy lays out the whole fucking story. That he found the baby, the Jamie's, whatever. Like there's his shocked face right there. The best acting. Only Loomis, Donald Pleasance could pull this off. So yeah, so back to that. Tommy lets him know that, hey, there's a family living in Michael's old house because they assume that's where he's going to go. Lets him know that the Strodes currently live in Myers' house. So Loomis, he's like, I need to go warn these people. So we catch up back to the Myers' house, the Strodes' house. And Deborah here, John's wife, she's doing some errands, doing some laundry. But the Shape is watching. Nice little creepy. And can I just say about this movie, they did a really good job with the score. Took it back to basics. Really well done here. And like you guys said, the Halloween atmosphere is great. But again, there's pumpkins everywhere. There's decorations. There's trick-or-treaters everywhere. Who the fuck banned? Is it really banned? Halloween in Haddonfield? Come on. So yeah, she's futzing around down in the basement and fucking with the washing machine. Doesn't work. Tripping the breaker. They don't have a fucking panel over that breaker. Very dangerous to be tripping breakers without that protection. But, especially with all the water on the ground, you're dead. But Loomis shows up and decides to tell, hey, apparently Deborah Strutt is the dumbest person in Haddonfield and doesn't realize that she's living in the Myers house. Like, how the fuck would you not know that? Right? Halloween's banned in Haddonfield, supposedly because of Michael Myers. How do you not know? But Loomis, this is one of the it's one of his final Loomis speeches. Very good stuff here. Donald Pleasance did it like nobody. Man, what a great actor he was. I can't remember I think Danny's walking home from school here and sees the Man in Black. I guess whoever this druid Man in Black person is drives Michael around. I don't know. Maybe Entertainment Wizard brought up earlier that there were two in there. Maybe this is the getaway driver. But he runs in old Tommy Doyle here. I think Tommy's carrying a fucking baby and runs into this kid. Look at each other all weird and decide to walk off together. So Deborah, she's learned that they're living in Michael Myers' house, so she calls John up with this fucking crazed look on her face, fucking calling him out. You knew, and you didn't tell us. And I'm kind of with John Strutt on there. She's kind of an idiot. How could she not know? But, this is the last time that these two are ever going to talk to each other, as we're about to see. Ended it angry. Pretty sad for them. But Strode hangs up the phone, decides to have a drink, decides he's just going to go fucking rip one off. And Michael's in the house. Very creepy shot. I love it when Michael gets in the house and nobody can smell his swamp ass. But he's there. And she kind of senses it too when she hangs up the phone. She's like, wait a minute. That axe that I just put in that basket, it's fucking gone. I need to get the fuck out of here. So she runs out and is apparently so stupid, goes cluttering through all the fucking drying laundry. Guess their dryer doesn't work. Who the fuck hangs up their laundry on a rainy day in fucking Halloween in Haddonfield? I don't know. But I guess her glasses fall off, so we'll give her a little bit of a break. But she claws out and comes face to face with the man with the axe, the Shape. And this is probably... What do you guys think of seeing the Shape in the daytime? Pretty creepy, but he gives her a fucking axe shampoo right through her hair. All over the place. And I think I'll go to the chat. Let me remove this. I'm going to go to the chat and see what we have. Let's see here. They forgot to color correct the car here. What do you mean? Joseph the Horror Guy doesn't like the Halloween 5 ending. Not a lot of people do. Big Empty Zero says, I dig this one too, but have you been going through them all or just started with this one? So I've done 2, 3, 4, and 5 and this one. And what I'm doing is I'm going to go through all these and then I'm going to do Halloween, the original, last. Just in case the wheels fall off. I'll have that to fall back on. Joseph, you definitely need to rewatch Halloween 6. Nick Push, they really did Carpenter and Hill dirty naming these ridiculous characters after them. Yeah. Fuck, I don't know why they kept with that tradition. Let's give them some new names. It is silly, but I dig it. Let's see here. Great scene. It's Michael. All right, we're caught up. So Kara comes home from a hard day at the university. And nobody's there. Can't find Danny. What the fuck's going on? Where is this little bastard? But she finds him in the bedroom talking about dinosaurs with Tommy Doyle and this baby. And this is the first introduction, like face to face. They've looked at each other from across the street, but this is the first they've ever seen each other. And Miss Blankenship, we saw her earlier raking the leaves, and she's just in there watching fucking Maury Povich, whatever old people do back then. But we kind of bust in the darkness. I think it's getting dark out. And I can't remember. I think they're over across the street at Tommy's, right? Yeah, because Mrs. Blankenship's there. And Danny looks out the window. He sees the shape just standing down there staring. Pretty standard, pretty classic look here. Glad they went back to that, but all the pumpkins are lit. I wonder who lit those. Did Michael light those? The lightning strikes. I kind of had to get both of these in here when the lightning strikes, but yeah, there's another storm out there. So here Tommy's explaining to Kara about the curse of Thorn, Samhain, Samhain, however the fuck you say it, about how he thinks Michael's inflicted, about how, the Druids or whatever wanted to end their bloodline, all that stupid shit. Explains the symbol. And she's kind of been like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? But she notices that Danny's wandered off, and she goes to find him sitting with Mrs. Blankenship, where she's telling him stories about how little Mikey Myers had a fucking curse when blah, blah, blah. He has it too. But we cut over to Loomis and Wynn. They're back at the hospital, and, they've done the analysis on Jamie Lloyd's body, and they found a placenta inside of her. So they surmise that she's had a baby, and Loomis is like, holy shit. I saw Tommy Doyle in here a couple hours ago, and he had the baby. So we need to go find Tommy Doyle and that fucking baby. Because that's where Michael will go. So Tommy, he's decided he's going to leave Kara behind, go down to the big festival to see the Barry Sims show, where Beth is going to, give her pitch to unshackle the town, which is clearly celebrating Halloween. But Tommy's down there looking. I don't know why he... Oh, let me get that off there. I'm sorry. I don't know why he went down there, but there's some cool shots. Good Halloween atmosphere. Sure better than anything they did in Halloween 5. But here's Mrs. Blankenship telling Danny about little Mikey Myers. He had the... he heard the voices too. You're going to be just as fucking crazy as he is. Kind of think they were setting this up, but everybody's waiting around. And the man in black shows up. Or is it the man in black? No, that's Barry Sims. This is the shock jock that's been telling all the conspiracy theories about Michael Myers. But we catch back, we kind of cut away from there. They start having their little radio show. And we catch up to old John Strode here. Pulls in. He's clearly been drinking. Crashes some kid's bike, probably Danny's bike. Pretty happy guy, but quickly realizes, fuck, there's nobody here. There's no dinner. I'm on my own. And he's like, this bitch left me. But he's standing there, the lights are on, and then all of a sudden they go out, and he grabs the flashlight. He thinks they're fucking playing a prank on him. Who knew? So he's traipsing around the house, and I'm the boogeyman. I'm going to get you. But for some reason, the power went out, and he can hear downstairs that the washing machine, guess it has its own fucking service. And yeah, the washing machine's running. And he's like, what the fuck's going on with this washing machine? And he opens up, and Michael, he tried to do some laundry. Tried to clean up a little bit, but, couldn't get all the blood out. He notices all the water's run out, so he's standing in water. So, yeah, but he's not alone. The shape is down there. I guess he didn't hear him traipsing through the big puddle of water down there. Shape moves through water silently. Crazy enough, this is a great shot right here. I was able to get a good one here. We get a good look at this mask, and the shape's kind of smiling because he knows he's going to put an end to this asshole. And he decides to put him on the electric box, which, shouldn't have any power if he really killed it from the outside, but it does. Damn, I didn't get that good shot. Yeah, look, I didn't get the good shot of all the lights coming in and out from under the basement. Really cool shot. But Strode, man, he's struggling here. The shit's going straight to ground through his body. There's that smile. Look at that. It looks like he's enjoying it, doesn't he? And yeah, he's fucking frying. I don't know if the arc is coming out of his hand, but explodes his head. I guess that could happen. I don't think so. But yeah, John Strode, he's gone. I see a couple here. Yeah. Blake is in the chat. Welcome, Blake. Says this is the worst movie in the franchise. I don't know about that. Joseph the Horror Guy. Yeah, that's the Man in Black. Stern knew better. Howard Stern, a big famous shock jock who seemingly lost his way. I always thought Opiate. No, don't play that. Can you guys hear that? You have to love Siri. Stupid bitch. Yeah, so yeah, I thought Opie and Anthony were better than Stern. Hope I don't get a copyright strike for that. Let's see here. Definitely. James Moran, welcome to the chat, man. Definitely the most hated character in the franchise. I think he's talking about John Strode. I don't know. You think Corey might have taken the mantle on that, or maybe Laurie Strode herself? Let's see here. Allie loves this kill. She says it's an awesome kill. Nick Push said if this movie came out now, it would get more hate than ends. Time, nostalgia, do strange things. I think that's a fair point. James Morant, the only Halloween movie shot in the fall. Yeah, it was shot in 1994 in Salt Lake City. They filmed 4, 5, and 6 there. So let's get back to the fucking presentation. We're almost through this. So we go back to the radio, and Barry Sims gets, apparently Tim didn't fucking know. He lived in Michael Myers' house. His girlfriend knew, but fucking, I don't know what it is with these Strode bunch, but they're fucking stupid people. But Barry's like, I see gold here. We're going to come back from commercial live from the Myers house. And I fucking had a great shot of that. Did not get in here, but Barry gets into the car. He's on the phone with his producer or whatever, saying, we're going to fucking slay these yokels. We're going to fucking broadcast from there. It's very genius. I would have done the same thing. I'm not going to lie. But somehow Michael got from the Strode basement, sloshing around in his wet shoes, to somehow finding Barry Sims' car. I don't know how he did it. Maybe one of the druids is watching all this and saying, hey, we need to go end Barry Sims real quick. But Michael's there. And Barry Sims, he gets a death. We will find out what happened here a little bit later. But Beth, Tim decide to go back to the Myers house. Nobody's there. And this is where dumb Tim Strode finds out the story of Michael Myers. Like, come on. Like, they've been talking about why Haddonfield has Halloween banned. Was he not listening? Did he not hear that part where it's banned because of what Michael Myers did? I don't know. But she decides she's going to let her hair down, take him upstairs, and cut back to Tommy Doyle. He's still at where they were having the celebration. And he finds this, I don't know if this is a little boy or a little girl, I can't tell. But it's saying it's raining red. It's raining red. What a dumbass. What is it with these dumb people? Like, if it's raining red, you get the fuck out from under that tree. But old Barry Sims, he's strung up. I don't know how Michael pulled this off in front of all these people, but he works in mysterious ways, I guess. And, all these lights that he used to tie him up in the tree, they didn't hold, and Barry comes falling to the ground. Pretty gruesome kill. But Tommy knows the shit is on. And Loomis shows up. He's like, he's here. I know. So Loomis is like, where's the baby, dumbass? You don't have the baby. He's like, oh, we need to go get the baby. So we catch back up with Tim and his girlfriend Beth here. They decided they're going to fuck in Judith's room. I would have done the same thing. I'm not going to lie. But Tim, he decides to go wash the sex off. He's going to go take a shower. I didn't get a shot of, Beth nude. It probably would have even been banned from YouTube. She's so BB's. But, Kara's watching across the street in Tommy Doyle's room and sees, what the fuck is going on over there? And sees that Beth is in there. So she grabs, Tim goes to the shower, asks Beth for a towel, but that's clearly not Beth's hand. Michael Myers has gone from killing Barry Sims, stringing him up to the tree, all the way back to his house. This guy's working overtime. George Wilbur probably lost 25 pounds doing all this work on this one night. So Michael gives him the towel, and he's drying off. And, when you guys take a shower, just like me, windows fog over, and you can't see what the fuck's going on in there. But here we get a nice little shot of the shape. This is a pretty brutal kill. This is a kill the shape has done in many a movie, but pretty brutal. Tim gets his throat cut. But Kara decides she's going to call Beth. And, hey, what the fuck are you doing over there? You need to get out of there. But it's too late. It's too late for Beth because the shape is there, and he's like, starts hacking her to death. And horrible murder committed right in front of Kara. And then, of course, she notices the fucking Danny's not there. Fucking dumbass Danny disappeared, and she looks down, and he's walking across the street. So she's going to do what any mother's going to do and run across the street to save her son. And she goes into this house of horrors. Danny's in there somewhere. She goes upstairs, pulls the blanket off, and, man, although Beth looks pretty peaceful, I would say. But, the shape is there. This is a pretty cool shot here. Kind of walks in on her, and all hell breaks loose, and she runs into old Deborah here. Doesn't look, I don't see like where the axe damage is. You'd think if he'd hit her across the face with the axe, it would have done a lot more damage, but her fucking put her glasses back on her head. At least he was nice enough for that. Pretty creative guy. But they go stumbling and falling down the stairs, and the shape is knocked out. It's a very grainy photo. I apologize, but it was, dark scene. It's tough when the scenes are dark to get a good, clear, lot of grain. But Michael's passed out, and then, of course, dumbass Danny is over on the other side. That kid is just nothing but a nuisance. She's just let him go. But they do the whole gag, right? James Morant, the classic horror movie, stepping over the killer's body. And, of course, right when she steps over, the kid clear, thinks they're on the way out of there. Nah, he comes alive, grabs her ankle. But the race is on. She's headed back across the street to Mrs. Blankenship's. I don't know why. I would have just been hauling ass down the street myself. Great shot of the hair, tracking her across the street. Pretty similar to when Michael was chasing Lori across when she's trying to bang and get into the Doyles. A little reminiscent. But George Wilbur power walking through this whole thing. But, Danny got in there a couple minutes before Kara comes in, and there's the man in black. And there's her stupid kid sitting in a stranger's lap. But I guess this guy has been calling to him, asking him to kill for him. So, and then it's revealed that the man in black is indeed Dr. Wynn. What did you guys think of this twist? I mean, I think they telegraphed it pretty much. Really wasn't hard to be surprised by it, but, given they set up the Man in Black to be some mystery they solved. Well, I kind of like the idea of it being Wynn, but we find out Miss Blankenship, she's in on the whole thing. Apparently, this guy has a cult that's going on, and she's gonna got her scissors. She's about to stab. Oh, damn it, I didn't get that fucking scene of Kara jumping through the fucking window. I had a great one. But Kara just for some reason decides she's gonna just dive through the window down 2 stories to the yard. A lot of dumb people in the Strode family. But then we kind of missed something here. We come to this scene where Loomis and Tommy, apparently they've been drugged. Like, apparently this is just some bad editing. I don't know. We missed something here, but they realize that they've been drugged and raped or whatever. But Loomis, of course, he knows where all this is going down because he knows it's Wynn. So, of course, they're going to Smith's Grove, and Kara, she's being held prisoner. But I guess Tommy and Loomis, they're just, they left all the doors unlocked. Come on in. Guess they wanted this to go down. But they're traipsing down the halls. A very well-lit hallway. Yeah, and how did Loomis and Tommy get to Smith's Grove so fast? It was like 100 miles. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of plot problems in this that I pointed out. Before we get into this finale, which I think the finale is probably the strongest part of the movie. Let's get to a couple of the chats here. I think Allie's talking about him walking across the street is a good callback to the OG. They really set up the Man in Black like he was the Undertaker. Yes, the writer wanted Christopher Lee for the role as Wynn. They tried to get him for Dr. Loomis in the original Halloween. So I mean, I think that would have made a lot of been a good thing to have. But Terrence, whatever his name is, he did all right. And I already mentioned that. Let's see here, 150 miles from Haddonfield to Smith's Grove, and the indentation of Michael in the ground was cool. So let's get through this. So Loomis makes his way to Wynn's office, knows right where it is, and this is where Wynn explains, kind of what his motive is, that he just wants to understand evil. So he had Michael bang Jamie. I guess so they could study evil. They're going to do some weird, wicked medical experiments on this baby. But Tommy, he's out and about looking for Kara, and he finds the maximum security wing where the door's just fucking open. And he encounters this lady here, all this fancy talk that these people do. But Tommy, he hears Kara. She hears him. She's banging on the door. Grabs a fire extinguisher. When we get this, I guess this is where the Shape lives. He's on the maximum security wing here in Smith's Grove all these years. But apparently his door is not locked. And he could just walk out. Really cool shot here. And I guess this is the first time Tommy's seen the Shape since he was a little boy. So, Paul Rudd, very poor acting in this movie. Really wasn't a good performance for him. I guess I could blame the writing or whatever, but really wooden performance by him. And this scene really accentuates that, where he's like, I don't know. But it's on. And they're about to get out, but Michael, quick behind, he grabs her hair, pulls her back. Gonna do some damage. I really love this shot here. It's one of my favorite of the new ones. I'll put this on Twitter I may have already. But they run through the hallways. We get through all these pipes. This is really cool with the red lighting. This is going to come into play here very shortly. But they run down this hallway, and I guess they're on the surgical wing in Smith's Grove, or, Dr. Wynn makes a joke. You guys can take off the fucking Halloween costumes. We don't need that shit anymore. But all the doctors are here. They're going to do their experiment for bringing the baby in, getting all their surgical scrubs and everything. Love this shot. Kara's kind of watching all this go down. Get a nice high quality look at her eyes. very pretty green eyes. But she notices the Shape walks in, and she's like, "Oh shit!" Hides in the corner, and the Shape walks in, and he's like, "What the fuck are these people doing? What are all these doctors doing here? And is that my baby?" I like to think that Michael saw that his baby was in danger and decided that he was going to take matters into his own hands. But he walks in, they have the surgical tray with all the instruments, and apparently they have this fucking machete. I don't know what medical purpose this serves, but it's there. And we're going to fucking, by God, use it. And Michael goes into the surgical suite and just starts tearing people the fuck up. Love this shot here, too. Very bloody. I wish we could have seen a little bit more of this, but he's in there just wreaking havoc. And then we get this cool scene where one doctor gets out and the Shape's chasing him down this red corridor. Like Tommy and Kara, Danny, they're all trying to get away. And of course they're assholes. They lock the door behind them, the cage door. And Michael proceeds, walks as fast as I've ever seen Michael. He's basically running. Michael Werner did this scene, and apparently this guy is going to smash his head through the wall. This is his dad right here. And it's a cool scene for son and father here, where the son gets to kill his father. Very brutal. Just try to smash his face through this fucking thing. So another great shot here. We kind of see Michael enjoying it. Jake Blaster won't like this because you can see his eyes, but I was able to snap this one. Love it. But yeah, Michael's, he gets through the cage, smashes that fucking door down with the dude's head. He's in hot pursuit in the well-lit hallway here. They think they're getting away. And then they go into this room here. Maybe the lab. And this is where Tommy kind of realizes that, they've been studying babies. I don't know if was this one of Michael's stillborn babies? I don't know. But they're doing some freaky, deaky shit in this room. But they're all trapped in here with Michael. And Kara, she grabs a nice fucking 2-inch pipe. That's a good weapon to have. Nice, heavy and sturdy. 2-inch pipe with the 90 on it. Could do some damage. And Michael kind of notices him there, and he's like trying to get to the kid. I didn't get a good shot of it, but that stupid kid screaming his head off. Like, God damn. But in comes Tommy. He found all the good drugs and decides to inject them into Michael. Well, he says, "Hey, here's your baby." I think it's another fake out. But Tommy's lured him in. Sticks all the shots into his shoulders, and look at this fucking look on his face. Like, terrible performance by Paul Rudd. I would love for someone to confront him on this. Maybe Bud can do that one day. But Michael, he's drugged, and he's he's vulnerable here. And Tommy grabs that pipe and just proceeds to beat the ever-loving shit out of the Shape. Beats him senseless. But not before the Shape, I think maybe I got these out of order, but he almost choked out Kara. I think he may have got away from Tommy and caught up to her and was almost choking her out. And then Tommy shows it, like tugging on her, trying to tug the mask off. Get a good look at the mold that they came up with. But Tommy gets the pipe and just beats the shit out of him. The Shape is defeated. But he looks pretty relieved here. Or does he look psycho? I don't know, but we catch up to Loomis. This is it right here, folks. This is the last time we're ever going to see Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis in a Halloween movie. Very bittersweet scene, but I guess everybody is defeated. Tommy, Kara, Danny, they're going to drive off into the night, and they're like, "Hey, Dr. Loomis, why don't you come with us?" But Loomis is like, "No." And this is it right here. This is the last we see of Donald Pleasance. Very, like I said, bittersweet, very sad, but we don't get to see this, but we hear it. we hear it where I guess he goes back in and we hear Loomis scream. And that's it. And then we see the mask is off, just laying on the ground. And we see this pumpkin and the light goes out. And that's it. In memory of Donald Pleasance. And that's Halloween 6. So I guess it wasn't too bad with the slide presentation, right, Nick Push? We went through the whole thing. So I'll go back to the chat and then I'll give. I'm just going to keep that up there. I like it. Even though it's blurry as fuck. Everybody loved that kill with A. Michael Lerner smashing that dude's head. I guess Michael was taking out some anger on that old man. Yeah, I guess he was. I mean, he took anger on a bunch of people there. Let's see. Look at how thin Michael is compared to earlier. Yeah, it's clearly a different guy. I guess he had to. I guess they did that in reshoots, and maybe they couldn't get Wilbur back for that. I'm not sure. Test tube babies and green slime. Apparently, all the babies are Michael's clones, and they were trying to make a superhuman using Michael's evil. There you go. It's a pretty fucked up plan. Ant-Man versus Michael Myers. I gotta say that last Ant-Man movie was pretty terrible. Fucking Marvel's in trouble. The ending basically repeated Halloween 5, inject Michael with something to weaken him and beat the... Yeah, you're right. Man, they recycle so much shit through these. The scream is from the producer's cut. That's true. Nick Push, good job. Thank you. Shane Emerson trickles in, of course, at the very fucking end of this thing. It's good to see you back, Shane. We haven't seen you on the stream in a while, but good to see you. I'm going to get in. Thank you. George Wilbur got replaced because he was too big. I guess, yeah, he was a big guy. God rest his soul. He recently passed away. Shane Emerson, there's a great movie hidden somewhere in Halloween 6. So before I give my rating, I always like to do this. Let me get this off of here. Memorabilia. Like, I didn't have much for Halloween 5. I just had the 4K Blu-ray. No different here. I have the 4K Blu-ray, which you get 4K remastered of both cuts. The original, The Curse of Michael Myers, and then the producer's cut. They don't have the Dolby Atmos this time, but that's no big deal. But yeah, it's never going to look better, folks. You can get this bundled. Sadly, they don't sell it individually. You might be able to get it individually, say like on eBay, but you might as well just get the whole trilogy, get all three of them. You can catch them. I think I've seen them down as like $75 for all three. You get H2O, Resurrection, and Halloween 6. But I also have the Trick or Treat Studio. So this mask I got, shit, it was before they even announced the Halloween David Gordon Greens. This is back when Trick or Treat Studios actually made good, high quality masks. I mean, look at that thing. You look at some of this shit they put out now, they produce it on a mass scale, and the quality is just not as good. It just looks like fucking Helen Keller made it. I've said that before. I have a couple. Maybe the Halloween Kills mask looks pretty decent, but yeah, I like it. I'm not going to put it on because I don't want to smell like latex. But that's all I have from Halloween 6. You guys have any good stuff? Let me know in the chat. So the ratings. So if you had asked me how many years did this come out? Almost 30 years. 22 years ago. 25 years ago? God, I'm getting fucking old, people. I guess it's about 27 years old. When was it, 95? Yeah, 28 years old. I would have said this biggest piece of shit Halloween movie ever. But no, it's not as bad. They did a lot of really good stuff here. I'm going to be honest with you. Good atmosphere, good kills. I think Michael did, the guys that played Michael did a great job. The music, they nailed. So out of 5 stars, I'll give this movie a good solid 2.5 stars. Just because, it gets better with age, I'll be honest. Let's get to some of y'all's ratings. Shane Emerson's been working. I understand that. New job. Thought you were getting ready to go to the big university. You being a lifeguard at the fucking pool or something? James Moran, 7 out of 10. He likes it despite all the behind the scenes problems and plot holes. Decent sequel. It's a shit ton better than Halloween 5. Mikey loves movies, 6 out of 10. Entertainment Wizard breaking it down. Theatrical cut, 5 out of 10. Producers cut, 6.5 out of 10. Those are middle of the road rankings. Interesting. Let's see here. Awesome movie, bud. Good ratings. Thank you. 28 years. Yeah, I know, man. I'm not a fucking accountant like some people. I don't fucking work with numbers all day. I actually fix shit. So the music in the producer's cut is better. He's right. It's more in tune with the original. They use a lot of the. I think they just pretty much used all the original beats. Let's see here. 8 out of 10 for Allie. So, damn, you liked it a lot. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to promote here. Everybody's been asking. So the next Rewind Trivia is this Sunday on June 4th. It'll be on my channel. We're going to do... Hold on now. Let me get that. Let me get that off of there. Oh, we're going to do a Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. Just put the questions in yesterday. Shaping up. Oh, here we go. Entertainment was... Or, sorry. Shane Emerson, 5 out of 10-ish. And then Josh the horror guy with the comment of the night. 666 out of 10. Indeed. So yeah, like I said, this Sunday on my channel, we're going to do Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, James Morant. A lot of people have been looking forward to this. Everybody, you need to watch it. Pay close attention to little things and bring your A game. Oh, let's see here. As far as what I'm going to do, I think... So next week's going to be tricky. I may be on hiatus next week. We'll see. But I'll definitely be back the following week. I don't know if we'll do Rewind Trivia. I'm going to have to get with Jake on that for June 10th. But the following week, the week of June 10th, I'm going to pitch. I've been working on a pitch for a Halloween sequel that I'm going to pitch to Nick Push, hopefully Jake Blaster, but more importantly to all of you. I'm going to pitch my idea. It's really going to be a standalone Halloween movie that I've come up with. I've thought a lot about it, and I want to present it to you guys, and then we can all decide together whether Bud is a stupid ass or whether we can work out some of the kinks and come up with a good pitch for a standalone Halloween movie, make a bunch of people some fucking money. But of course, coming up next, I've started work on Halloween H2O live stream. Don't know the date, but I've started getting some screenshots, and I've included it on the thumbnail here. I took this shot here. What do you guys think of that? Sourced from the Halloween H2O 4K Blu-ray. Again, it'll never look better. What are you asking me, Allie? She's asking, how did they're talking about Scott? I didn't see you earlier, but yeah. Thank you, Entertainment Wizard. It's a good shot, man. It took me for fucking ever to get this shot right, man. I had to fuck with. I'm learning how to use my camera with the exposures and all that. Like when this is all said and done, I'm gonna be a pretty good photographer. Thank you, Christopher. I'm glad you guys like it. Yeah, that is indeed the Halloween 6 mask. You're getting ahead of my Halloween H2O stream, Nick. But yeah, that's true. That is the Halloween 6 mask. And it is one of like 4 different versions that we will see. I'm going to try to get a good shot of that one mask, but I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Before we get out of here, please hit the like and subscribe. Enable notifications so you don't miss Rewind Trivia this Sunday or Halloween H2O or Bud's big Halloween sequel pitch. But you don't want to miss all this stuff. I'm really excited to pitch you guys a Halloween movie. You're either going to think I'm a genius You're going to beat the shit out of me. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. This was a lot of fun. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope you liked the photos. If there's anyone that you want to have that I haven't put on Twitter, hit me up on the DMs and I'll try to get it to you. But again, great fun, guys. And I will see you guys on Sunday night right here on the Shape of Horror podcast. We'll find out who knows the shit about Nightmare on Elm Street. Good night.